We have a salvation in progress.
423.
1015 Edgewood Avenue, Crane.
Hey, we're in Mars Hill Cemetery today, out here in the center of the universe. Beautiful day, Sunday afternoon. Every time I go to a cemetery, I think about the friends, the family members, the people that I miss that are not with us anymore. But the second thing I think about when I go to the cemetery is a story from the Bible, and I love it because it goes right to where we're at. And so what happened was that Jesus is in the middle of a revival. He's in the middle of great things happening. People are getting healed. People are finding out about the kingdom of God. And right in the middle of that big revival, he says, we need to go to the other side. So they get in the boat, they start over there, and of course the storm comes. The wind's blowing pretty good right now. I hope I'm talking over that, but I just want to tell you that this was not a wind like we're having today that just kind of cools us off a little bit or makes us, kind of comfortable. This was a storm wind. This is a bad wind. And I know some of you guys in your lives right now have that storm going on in your life. Guys, I want to tell you, the enemy is always pushing back when God is going forward. The enemy is always circumstances, using people, using things, using situations. Anything he can get a toehold in, he is working on. Okay, so they got into that storm, and that was I believe this was the story where Jesus was so concerned about it that he went to sleep. And they went there and said, "Hey, don't you understand? We're gonna perish here. Okay, we're gonna die out here trying to obey you. We're gonna die." And he stands up and he says those famous words, "Peace, be still." Glass, everything's done. They go over to the other place. They get out, and that's what makes me think about the graveyard. Because then the madman in the graveyard, the message calls it the madman in the graveyard, and they've tied him up and they've chained him up so many times he just breaks the chains. He's past anything that any man can do for him. I want you to hear this. He's past anything that anything in their power can fix it. And he's out there, he's cutting himself, he's doing all of these things. But in the middle of that, he begins to say, have you come to torture us before our time? See, the enemy recognizes Jesus' power. And I don't know, I'm drawing conclusions from reading this story, but I don't know if the enemy calls that storm or if there's just a storm, because sometimes there's just storms. I mean, it rains on the just and the unjust. But it looks like that Jesus is on his way to do his Father's business. He's trying to be stopped by the storm. He's trying to be stopped by other people's unbelief. He gets to where he's going, and he gets there, but even the enemy recognizes him for the power that he is. And as he begins to interact with this man, he sets him free. Guys, I want to tell you, the key to freedom, the key to being the people that God's called us to be, the key to laying down life-controlling issues, the key to have a successful marriage, the key to have successful finances, the key to that is the person of Jesus Christ. Well, he cast the demons out of them and cast them into the swine. The swine run down the hill. It's a big deal. It causes an economic situation with the people over there. They beg him to leave. But here's what happens. This guy says, Lord, let me go with you. Once he was cleansed, once he was sitting there in his right mind, he had a desire to go with him. And I love this part, because Jesus says, no, go back to your home. Go back and tell them what has happened to you. Go back and tell them what the Lord has done for you. And guys, I cannot give you any more advice. I am so tired of people talking to me about legalism, or talking to me about politics, or talking to me about whether we should or shouldn't have this or do that. Listen, what I want to know is, what has Jesus done in your life? I want the testimony of truth of the power of Jesus Christ. not the legalism that you've drug up from your grandma or your grandpa or whoever thinks this is right or this is wrong. Listen, what the world needs is life, and life abundantly. And Jesus said, I come that you might have life and have it abundantly. So here's the deal. We're in a graveyard. And guys, people come here to remember. People come here to grieve. Every once in a while, I don't see one today, but sometimes there'll just be a fresh pile in which will remind me that somebody's just been put here. But the truth is, there is no death in Jesus Christ. The truth is although that young man, he went back to his home, as he began to tell his story, he was not separated from Christ, but for the length that he was alive, and now he is with him. See, we see everything on this temporal basis. We see everything on this small basis, okay? That's not the way God sees it. He says, blessed is the day of the death of the saints. And you say, well, that's kind of a weird thing to say, but listen, we're separated from him now, but we will not be forever. So this is not a funeral deal, but I just want to tell you that even in the graveyard, even the places of death, even in the things that are not, seem like there's storms and death and things not working out like you want them to, I'm going to tell you that God says there's a way that seemeth right unto a man, and the end of that is death. But if we will follow him, seek his kingdom first, do what he's called us to do, be the men and women he's called us to do, there's life. Seek Jesus. Have a great day. Share, share, Facebook, Bruce Kim Beelan, oldlawdog.com. Come see us, Crane, Missouri, the center of the universe.